Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2022-23 season. My name is Dan and welcome to the Gameweek 30 episode of 100 Experts, where we're going to have a look at the expert trends in terms of transfers, captaincies, and maybe even a little bit of chip usage as well in this Gameweek 30. So, guys, if you do enjoy this one, please do leave a like, please do subscribe if you're new around here. But let's have a look, first of all, at our experts that helped us out today. Alright, so here are 100 names. Thank you very much to everyone who got involved this week. We got an absolutely phenomenal response. A lot of people willing to share their information, and I'm very grateful. I'm sure you guys watching are very, very grateful to these people as well. So if you do go see them anywhere around social media, make sure you do go check them out. Let's see what they're up to. Okay, so 65% are making one transfer, 6% are making two transfers, and nobody is making three or more transfers. 2% are using a wildcard chip this week, so potentially a week to be using your wildcard. I know some of you guys are still going to have that wildcard chip. I know not very many of our experts have their wildcard chip in hand still, so this could potentially be a time for you to play that wildcard chip, potentially. That's kind of up to you. And 27% not making a transfer at all this week, which is probably about average. So I wouldn't say that this is a game week that you have to make a transfer or, you know, have to roll a transfer. It's kind of up to you in many ways. There's lots of options available, but it seems like most people are making just that one little tweak. And guys, when I was kind of about to make this video, I was gathering the information for this video. I thought this is going to be maybe a bit of a boring week, but actually you're soon going to see, guys, this is actually kind of interesting. I think by watching this video, you can actually get quite a decent advantage over the kind of more, well, less engaged FPL manager. And let me show you why. Okay, so here are the 12 most popular transfers for Game Week 30 in the world of FPL. So all of the people making transfers right now in the whole world. These are the most popular players. So we're seeing Ben White really right at the top here. Gabriel Jesus there. Grealish, Watkins, Mitoma, De Bruyne, Mings, Gabriel, Haaland, Kane, Tony, Trippier. So those are the top 12 really there. And yeah, what I'm about to show you is quite surprising, maybe. I don't know. I thought this was really, really good information. I'm hoping this is really going to help you out. But when we look at these players, how many of these do you think are also popular among our top FPL managers? How many of them out of 12? Well, let me show you. It's just one. Just one. Erling Haaland is the only person on this list with significant interest among top FPL managers, which is quite crazy. It is really quite crazy. All of the other players, there's next to no interest in any of them. Nobody's really buying anyone else other than Erling Haaland out of this particular list of players. So what that really suggests to me is that the general FPL manager could potentially be getting things wrong, because you're about to see, guys, in the next couple of slides, there's a real consensus among experts. And when there's a real consensus among experts, you can have quite a lot of confidence that it's probably the best move, right? And I don't like to say there's a right way and a wrong way of playing FPL. I don't really like saying that, to be honest. But when everyone who is good at FPL seems to be on the exact same page, that says a lot to me. And it seems like the overall player base in FPL is not on that same page, which is quite crazy to me. We're going to go one further here, guys, and have a look at some of the players on this list where there is literally zero interest among experts, and they are Ben White, Mings, Gabriel and Tony. So nobody looking to get Arsenal defenders ahead of that Liverpool game. And yet Ben White is the most popular player among, you know, most FPL managers. Going for Ben White against a tough Liverpool attack, playing away from home. Seems quite crazy to me. Probably seems quite crazy to a lot of experts as well, as is evidenced by the fact that nobody's going for the Arsenal defenders. Yet it seems like people do like the look of the Arsenal defenders in this fixture. I don't know why. I can't understand it. Mings as well, not too much interest. But to be fair, I know a lot of people do have Mings already among our experts. So, yeah, maybe that's kind of a bit of a misleading one. And Tony as well. Yeah, you're going to see Tony in a second that he is not a very popular boy at the moment. But, yeah, here are your players. All of the other players who I've kind of left in white here are players who are kind of transferred in by one person, two people. It's not enough to suggest a trend, really. But we're going to have a look at a little bit more detail what our experts are up to. First of all, let's see who they are selling. Well, we have a consensus. Yes, this is what these videos are all about. When you have an opportunity like this to see what so many people are doing the same thing, it really does help us out in kind of working out what is the right move. Obviously, everyone's team is going to be slightly different, but everyone is selling Tony right now. He is one yellow card away from a suspension. At time of recording, the game between Brentford and Manchester United hasn't kicked off yet, but if Toney gets a yellow card in that game, he is going to be suspended for 2 games. If he gets a yellow card at any point for the rest of the season, pretty much, he is going to be suspended for 2 games as well. So yeah, Toney is really a player who is people are looking to move out. He plays against Newcastle as well. That's a tough fixture for any attacker, really. A couple of people taking out Kane, a couple of people taking out Maddison. I do want to just say on Maddison here that I don't think he is injured. I know people are kind of worried about him potentially being injured. It looked to me like it might just be cramp, but definitely one to keep an eye on. If you bought Maddison in and it does turn out he's injured, then maybe you might have to sell him. A couple of our experts are looking to sell him already, so that's going to be up to you. And then aside from that, it's sort of 2 transfers out for a whole bunch of different players. 2 transfers out for Ødegaard, Saka, Havertz, Fernandes, Isak, João Felix, Estupiñán. So it's kind of, it's kind of open, really, other than Toney, who seems to be a really obvious sell. Maddison is a sell based on the fact that he's potentially injured. And as you're going to see shortly, Kane is being sold, not because people want to sell him, because they have to sell him to get a certain man in their team. And that certain man is Erling Haaland. So people are looking to get him back in, and that's pretty much the only player anyone is interested in. 58 transfers out of our 100, well, I guess 100 experts, but 71 experts making transfers are bringing in Erling Haaland this game week. So yeah, really, really, really popular move in. Some of those experts will already have him in. They never sold him, but I think for the most part, I would say most people are bringing back in Erling Haaland, but not everyone. This is not a consensus necessarily, but it is a strong, very, very strong trend. So a lot of people looking to sell to bring Erling Haaland back into their teams. He has been training again. A lot of people did say when I was asking them about their moves, they were saying it is dependent on whether Erling Haaland is declared fit for Game Week 30. We don't know for sure if he is going to be available or not, but he's training. That's a very good sign. Maybe we'll get some better ideas in press conferences, but I don't know for sure about that one. I guess we'll have to find out in a couple of days' time, but in general, people are looking to bring him in. A couple of other players with a little tiny bit of interest, but certainly not enough to really make a trend. De Bruyne, Grealish, Martinelli, and Joe Willock, interestingly, as well. So there are a couple of other players who people are kind of thinking about, but it seems to be dominated this game week by Erling Haaland. So that's kind of going to be what our suggested transfers are all about. So yes, Toney out, Haaland in. This is by far the most popular transfer among our experts. A lot of people have been making sure they have left money in the bank in order to make that upgrade, Toney to Haaland, in this game week. So, you know, if you saved that money, you made sure you prepared to make this move, you plan to make this move, congratulations, you've got a very easy transfer on your hand. And if you didn't plan for it, or, you know, you maybe kind of altered your plan as you went along a little bit and spent the money that you had in the bank, or never saved the money in the bank in the first place, then you may be forced to make the Kane to Erling Haaland move, which is not ideal. I don't think any of our experts are too happy that they have to make that move, but hey, if you've got to get Erling Haaland in, and it kind of feels like at some point or another, if he's fit, you are going to have to get him back into your team, then you have to make this transfer, and Kane is going to have to be the sacrifice potentially for you there, unless you can maybe take a hit and do 2 transfers in order to make it happen. I guess that's going to be kind of up to you. And finally, I've put down Isak here to Haaland. I've written down Isak. A couple of people are transferring him out already. I gathered the data before Isak was announced that he is on the bench for Newcastle's game today. It hasn't kicked off at time of recording, but I know he is on the bench. So, yeah. Few people will be thinking about selling Isak now because he is super rotation risk, and if he's the player to sacrifice for Erling Haaland, then fair enough. But if you've got other kind of forwards that you're not too keen on having right now, maybe some of you guys have João Felix, maybe you want to remove him, Kai Havertz potentially, I don't know, maybe you want to remove him as well. Basically, in this final slot, what I really mean is any forward that you have right now that you're happy to sacrifice, then they should be sold for Erling Haaland. And I think that pretty much sums up the suggested transfers. But, I mean, I didn't want this video to be too short and too focused on Erling Haaland. So just for a bit of fun, let's do another page of suggested transfers. Alright, so on this page, I've got Maddison and Ødegaard. There are a couple of other players who are being sold by quite a few people this game week. So if you do want to sell Maddison, if you do want to sell Ødegaard, there doesn't seem to be a strong trend among experts of which specific players you should bring in. But Grealish, Martinelli, De Bruyne, who else? Willock as well. Those were the 4 with 2 transfers in. So maybe if you want to sell Maddison or Ødegaard, maybe you can bring in one of those midfielders mentioned there. I'll put Grealish on the screen right now, but it doesn't have to be. And a few people are selling Estupinian as well. 2 people selling Estupinian. In both situations, it's a case where they don't have a free hit for game week 32. So Estupinian plays against Spurs away, then Chelsea away. 2 tough fixtures for him. Probably not looking to play him in those 2 fixtures. And then he blanks in game week 32. So if you're not free hitting in game week 32, there is definitely an option, if you don't really like the look of any other transfer moves, to maybe move Estupinian out for a defender who does have a game week 32 fixture. Bonus points if they have a good fixture in 30 and 31 as well. Tyrone Mings could potentially be the answer there, but I am going off the cuff here. This is meant to be an experts video. I can't really tell you truthfully that this page of transfers, our suggested transfers, is too related to our expert data, but it is at least a little bit. So take this page with a pinch of salt. Really, the experts are saying buy Erling Haaland, and that's pretty much all they're saying this game week. But we can still have a little discussion about captaincy, which may surprise you just a little bit. Alright, so game week 30 captain picks. Erling Haaland leads the line. So it's a case of we're getting Haaland back in and making him captain straight away. 48%, so not quite half. So we're still kind of in a situation where there's no clear captain for this game week. In fact, this is one of those game weeks where actually the captain decision is probably more split than we've seen many times before. This is one of the most split captaincy decisions I've seen since the beginning of the season, really. So, yeah, 48% is still quite significant. That's going to depend on fitness. Any clues of whether Haaland is going to be starting or not, that is going to impact our captaincy decision. But certainly, he is the most popular captain for us. Ollie Watkins at 33%. That is a really significant number as well. So, a third of our experts are going for Watkins as their captain. Nottingham Forest at home. Watkins has just been so good recently that you can't really kind of debate this at this point. I know Watkins is not really a trendy player to captain. He's not a premium player. Earlier on in the season, we probably would kind of laugh at the idea of captaining Watkins in game week 30. But here we are. He's doing so well, like topping all of the leaderboards for all Premier League players at the moment for all of those attacking numbers, which is fantastic. So a lot of people going for him. Nottingham Forest, a very good fixture as well. Rashford against Everton at home, 11%. That's a decent number still. That's still a decent number. So I wouldn't even call that differential. I would still say that is a pretty popular pick. And finally, Kane at 5% against Brighton. Brighton, you never really know if it's a good fixture or a bad fixture. Brighton in general have been quite good defensively recently, but you know, they did ship 3 goals against Brentford. Kane is obviously that Mr. Consistency, never lets you down. So you would expect he would continue to not let you down. Even if he's not getting the 10, 15 pointers, he is still ticking along nicely with those 6, 7, 8, 9 pointers. So still a very, very good pick indeed. So we have got a game week where it is kind of in many ways open. It's very open. If you feel like you want to go differential or go for something slightly different, this is a good game week to do that because there's no player here that can really punish you. Haaland and Watkins probably going to be the players to punish you the most, but even so, they're not going to punish you. Like, they're not going to be 200% effective ownership or anything like that. It's not even going to be close to that, to be fair. So, yeah. It's a good week for a little bit of a differential there, again, depending on fitness as well. But we have got 3 1%ers, which I may as well tell you. One person is going for Grealish as their captain. Grealish, I know, crazy. One person's going for Maddison as their captain, and one person is going for Saka as their captain. I don't know how I feel about those ones, but I guess we'll see. Wouldn't be the first time a differential captain paid off, but we are getting towards the end of the season, and at this point, people do start to go a little bit crazy, trying to make a final push for a good rank. So we are going to see some differentials in the videos from here until the end of the season, really, because it is differential season in many ways. But yeah, those are your captain, guys. Erling Haaland is your safety pick. Watkins is a very, very good backup, and aside from that, Rashford and Kane aren't too bad shouts either. Let me know what you think about that and who you are thinking of captaining for game week 30. Have you got anyone else who's not on this list? Do you think these guys really are the big 4 for the game week? I probably think they are the big 4 for the game week, to be fair. But there we go, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you did enjoy this one, please do drop a like, do subscribe if you are new around here as well. We'll be doing these experts videos every game week for the rest of the season, and I'm looking forward to seeing if some different strategies kind of start to emerge towards the end of the season and seeing some different differentials as well. I can see things really diversifying and getting interesting towards the end of the season. My team selection video is going to be coming out tomorrow, so look forward to that. Aside from that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye.